Let's talk about Andrea. She's got a top-tier MBA. She's a rising star VP of marketing, a total rock star. And yet, by 2015, she was completely lost. The marketing playbook she'd mastered, the one that got her all that success, it was suddenly useless. She was adrift in this crazy digital world she just couldn't navigate. And that feeling, that professional vertigo, I bet it's something a lot of us are feeling right now.
But what if there was a map for this new world? A way to cut through all the chaos. Well, that's exactly what we're going to tackle. We're going to demystify what modern marketing is all about. We'll build a solid framework for growth, and then we'll show you how artificial intelligence is becoming the ultimate co-pilot to help you navigate it all.
So what on earth happened to Andrea? And maybe more importantly, what's happening to the entire field of marketing right now? Well, the problem is the ground literally shifted under our feet. The strategies that built iconic brands for 100 years, the stuff many of us learned in school, they became irrelevant almost overnight. I mean, think about it. The old world was a one-way street, right? Brands would broadcast their message on TV or in magazines, and we, the consumers, would just listen. But now, it's a two-way conversation, and it's all driven by data. The consumer isn't just a passive listener anymore. They're in complete control, choosing what they see, when they see it, and putting them firmly in the driver's seat.
And this quote just nails it. It really shows you the insane speed and scale of this disruption. This isn't just a slow change. It's a full-blown revolution. The skills that used to guarantee you a successful career just aren't enough anymore. To even survive, marketers have basically had to become part software engineer and part data scientist. It's a whole new ballgame.
But here's the good news. Beneath all of this insane complexity, the engine that drives all digital marketing, well, it runs on some surprisingly simple math. There's a first principle that cuts right through all the noise and gives us a crystal clear framework for growth.
This is it. I call it the golden equation. First, you've got traffic. That's just the number of people who visit your website. Then you've got your conversion rate. That's the percentage of those visitors who actually buy something. And finally, your average order value, or AOV, which is simply how much they spend on average. That's it. Every single digital growth strategy you can think of is just an attempt to pull one of these three levers.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Just look at the different ways you can get to the same goal. To double your revenue, sure, you could try to double your traffic, but that is incredibly expensive and really, really hard. Or you could just focus on getting your conversion rate from a measly 1% up to 2%. The huge takeaway here is that growth isn't just about shouting louder. It's about working smarter on the parts of the equation you can actually control. Okay, so if the golden equation tells us how much we can grow, the next obvious question is, who should we be growing with? And how exactly do we guide them? To answer that, you need a strategic map, a map of the customer journey. And the North Star for that map is this metric right here, post-acquisition value, or PAB. It's really simple. What's the total value a customer brings you over their entire lifetime, minus what it costs you to get them in the first place? And this is so critical because, get this, you'll find some of your customers are actually costing you more money than they're worth. With PAB, the goal isn't to get every customer, it's to get the profitable ones. So with that in mind, we can build out the modern marketing funnel, which is really a 4-stage journey. First, you connect with potential customers, just get on their radar. Then you cultivate that new relationship and start building trust. Next, you convert them into an actual paying customer. And finally, and this is maybe the most important step, you retain them, turning that one-time buyer into a loyal fan. So look at what we've done. We've built a complete framework. We have the math, we have the key metric, and we have the map. But how do you execute all of this at scale, with speed and precision? Well, this is where our co-pilot comes in. See, AI isn't here to replace the marketer. It's here to supercharge every single stage of the framework we just built. Now, this is a pretty provocative statement from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. But honestly, he's not that far off. Just think about it for a second. Generating campaign ideas, creating images, making videos, and even testing all of it against different customer profiles, all happening almost instantly. This isn't some far-off future. This is happening right now. So how does all this magic actually work? Well, it's not magic. It's a technology called a transformer. See, before 2017, AI models read text one word at a time. It was kind of like listening to a really long story and forgetting the beginning by the time you get to the end. The transformer breakthrough allowed the model to see all the words at once, to understand the full context.
It's like an attention machine, and it can figure out which words matter most. That ability to grasp true meaning is the secret sauce behind why it can write such compelling marketing copy. What this all means is that the most important skill in this new world is prompting. The quality of what the AI gives you is a direct reflection of what you put in. A simple, lazy question gets you a generic, Google-like answer. But a powerful prompt? One where you give the AI a role, you give it context, you set some constraints, and you tell it the format you want? That is when you unlock its true power as your own PhD-level co-pilot. So if AI can act as our expert strategist, what's next? Well, this is where things get really mind-bending. The most profound application isn't just analyzing the marketing funnel, it's actually simulating the customer themselves.
This is the absolute cutting edge of marketing research, creating what are called digital twins. Imagine building an AI version of your ideal customer, trained on thousands of data points about their personality, their preferences, and even their cognitive biases. These aren't just your standard personas on a whiteboard. They are active, thinking simulations. So what can you actually do with them? The possibilities are just staggering. You can run entire focus groups with these silicon samples. You can test out new product ideas, predict how an entire market will react to a new ad campaign, and get deep customer insights in minutes, not months. This stuff is moving out of science fiction and becoming an incredible business strategy.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. We started with Andrea, a marketer who lost control because the consumer took over. We've journeyed through this new framework that gives the marketer a co-pilot to navigate this crazy world. But as this technology gets more and more powerful, it brings up a whole new question. When a brand's AI can simulate and predict your behavior with stunning accuracy, who's really the one driving the conversation?